Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Press Start to Play. We're going to talk about some comments that we had in the last couple of weeks or so. Manas has the list and all the masala, so let's get on with it.
Yes. First comment. Serious question. Kshitiz पूछ रहा है कि I hope you all are doing great. Do you think there should be better anti-piracy countermeasures than DRM because DRM affects performance of games? वैसे ये fair point है कि मतलब technically DRM is harming the guys who are actually paying for the game the most ना तो and क्या बोलते हैं yeah like what do you think about DRM in general and like could there be an alternative? क्या हो सकता है?
Yes, it is. Already मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, one word, two words, I
PS5.
guess. Regional pricing.
Always online.
If something is priced
Yeah.
well, people will buy it. उनको फिर pirate करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है.
ऐसा नहीं है, Darren. ऐसा like this is it has been factually scientifically proven that is not the case. मतलब ऐसा
People pirated Among Us. Among Us was 99 rupees.
ठीक है.
Phone पे
मैं
free है.
वो खेलता था मिनी मिलिशिया अपने टाइम में. मिनी मिलिशिया ठीक है. वो लोग उसको भी पायरेट करते थे यार. Like it's a free game. क्यों क्या कर रहा है पायरेट करके उसको? You don't have to do anything. मतलब वो why do you want that extra hat which is like 99 cents?
No. To add to that, people pirated because you can't dual wield in the free version.
देखा?
Yeah.
देखा?
I
Exactly.
paid for it.
वो pay to win है, फिर वो उसकी गलती है.
नहीं, but dual wield doesn't give you any मतलब like apart from like handling two weapons ऐसा कुछ बहुत it's not the best weapon in the game. It's not the best strategy in the game. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है कि it like adds a lot of वो क्या कहते हैं angle to the game उस केव्स में मिनी मिलिशिया के. हाँ भाई,
I agree.
I'm a long range sniper.
बूमर क्या समझेगा ये?
मैं तो disagree कर ही नहीं रहा 100%. True. Facts.
I am kind of little caught about this. I am not yet sure about whether bringing regional pricing reduces piracy. Regional pricing is good. Like the more number of people will be able to access the game and buy the game given the chance. But I don't know if it like have like real big effects on piracy. On the other hand, DRM itself is like it causes performance issues on certain low end hardware or medium end hardware. It is causing बहुत सारे हाई एंड हार्डवेयर पे भी ये प्रॉब्लम होता है कि DRM के साथ एंड नाउ इवन Nintendo is ये Denuvo को I think they are going to apply it forward to the games.
नहीं Denuvo ने बोला है हमने बना लिया ये यूज कर. कहाँ स्विच में जाना?
सोनी के साथ अभी थी ना? नहीं, सोनी या डेस्टिनी के साथ किसी के साथ उन लोगों ने करी थी अभी डील.
Yeah,
I am not so sure though.
So I think software all plays around exist games का नहीं they have this software theft and piracy का बात चलता ही रहता है. Windows फिर Office फिर कुछ ना कुछ आदमी लोग करते ही रहते हैं. Regional pricing might be one angle to it, but getting the DRM better, making it better, having a better way to how will I say to like proof that you have bought it. I think there might be some kind of online activation. ऐसा नहीं कि always online वाला मैं support नहीं करता. Always online नहीं.
Two words.
Two words. Always online.
Online activation support कर सकता हूँ कि when you're buying or purchasing you have a online activation procedure. उसके बाद whatever you want to do you can do with the game. But it's a complicated issue and DRM is not going away. But it can get better. So that's how I feel about it.
You want to take a jab at it, Abhi?
I think I go with Sushir Kiki. Taking DRM away might you think now it's a good thing, but reasonable pricing maybe is good. But like I have friends, if the game was priced at even 500 rupees, they'll still pirate that game. Like, क्या game को free? Do you want every game to be free? ऐसा थोड़ी ना हो सकता. So like, so it's still people will pirate. It will happen. Obviously, DRM is one way that has been done right now. I think if they can improve it, that's great. But I don't think so right now. There's any other way to just cut off and like piracy. Like I don't think so. We can just cut it off. But I mean, if we can improve, if they can improve DRM, that's probably right now the way. So I don't think so any other way. Regional pricing is great. More people will buy it, but not everybody wants to play games. Will get
right.
Two words.
मेरे बहुत जान पहचान. हाँ.
Kill PCMR.
Wow.
मैं तो ये बोल रहा था everybody plays on console which are always online. मतलब थोड़ा सा कम हो जाएगा.
मैं ये बात बोलना
काफी कम हो
चाहता हूँ
जाएगा।
कि मेरे
$100
जान
तो हो
पहचान में
जाएगा।
ऐसे 3000 सीरीज वाले कार्ड लेके बहुत अच्छा पीसी बना लेंगे, फिर भी they will pirate 1 or 2 big games and stuff like that. And
नाम क्या है उनका?
नहीं नाम नहीं
मतलब
बोलना
you know,
चाहिए, नाम नहीं बोल सकता. I am just trying to say कि it's just it's a problem. कि हम लोग का Indians we don't want to pay for software.
You're
We
saying
are
your
kind
friends
of
have a problem. Okay.
I've been cured.
but ऐसा सुशीर ऐसा नहीं है कि like piracy is just an Indian phenomenon. Like
No,
there are
absolutely
enough
not.
pirates in the American
Caribbean.
subcontinent as well.
हम्म.
हाँ, Caribbean में भी है ना? और नाइजीरिया से वो प्रिंस है, he wants to come out, he needs your help.
He
There
wants
is
to
that
buy
too.
Last of Us Part 1 remake. पैसा चाहिए.
What do you think, Manas?
I think
जो कि
regional
बाहर
pricing
पार्क में
will.
बैठा है आज किस दिन?
I think regional pricing can help the most. जैसे अभी ने बोला ना कि उसके दोस्त ऐसे हैं जो रीजनल प्राइसिंग होगा तो भी नहीं लेंगे, तो उनके तो DRM is like then तो DRM is also not like making them buy the game also ना. अगर वो रीजनल प्राइसिंग पे भी नहीं ले रहे, मुझे लग रहा है काफी लोगों का सिचुएशन ऐसा है कि जो पायरेट करेंगे वो कभी लेने वाले थे ही नहीं.
Right.
Like regional pricing will help the most. काफी स्पेशली मुझे लगता है regional pricing and good launchers या good ecosystems help a lot. जैसे अभी मैं Cyberpunk खेल रहा हूँ on the GOG. I love the GOG का interface and all. I have no issues being there. उसमें properly sync हो जाता है, save, update वगैरह ना. तो and I know कि like wherever I'm playing, if I need to switch between systems or if I'm coming back to a game months later, कभी सोचना नहीं पड़ रहा है कि ना मेरा game save है कि नहीं. I think all of these features will also make people buy games legit way में ना instead of pirating them. तो yeah, a mix of these will help.
ये मानस ये एग्जांपल मैं बार-बार देता हूँ and I think it holds right because since it's regarding regional pricing, the number of my friends who bought Horizon Zero Dawn at $12.99 and the number of people who bought God of War at $32.99 is markedly different.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like even though there were so many other people, अगर 2000 भी प्राइस कर देते हैं उसको, 21 at $22.99 or something like that, it would have been, God of War would have been like almost as big, as a bestseller in India like Horizon
Easily.
Zero Dawn. So
Yeah.
the number of people who bought that AAA game because of that price, that good price, and played through it and enjoyed it, I think was a way more. I think that's a way bigger phenomena than what Ayush wants to give it credit for. So,
3
मैं
words.
तो
Darren was
कहता हूँ
right.
यार नहीं मैं तो देखो मैं तो कहता हूँ देख मैं तो कॉर्पोरेट सेल आउट हुई है ना as is already been established है ना I am already a corporate seller out ठीक है तो मतलब but maths it's like maths like जैसे तो you think of multiplication has two factors ना number of units sold into number of like price into number of pieces sold right so जैसे you have to make up that amount from somewhere either you increase the number of units sold or you increase the price of an individual unit right so but that we're not talking about the pricing here as such right we're talking about the effects of DRM on piracy right so मेरे हिसाब से I think again this is again speaking from a perspective that I have made a game जैसे तो अलग अलग factors है जैसे like someone who's made Destiny or Modern Warfare they have a big matchmaking component built into their game which if broken to has the after effects of making the matchmaking PvP very unreasonably unbalanced right so there is also a reason of putting in anti-cheat, anti-piracy in that front, where you don't want anti-piracy people, or at least you want the anti-piracy people to play with. Sorry, not anti-piracy, piracy people playing with piracy people. That's the kind of situation you want, ideally, right? Or not ideally, but practically, right? And the other part is like single-player games. You have made an effort to create a game, and you know that your game only has the life of one playthrough for most people living in these days, right? So there is a very good point, a very good incentive for you to make it difficult to pirate your game, you know. But until at what point? Like, just say, like there will be some people who will be able to go willing to go that extra mile to take out DRM from the last single line of code that you have instead of paying money for it because they have time to put in on that front.
Right.
So it's in deterrent. I think DRM is a deterrent in most cases. It's not like a guard against piracy because obviously we know better, right? And there is no data to suggest non-DRM work better or perform better than DRM games. Like in sales. Like if there is better sales for non-DRM games, that to have any like effect on the whether you should put DRM on in or not.
Right.
And I have not played any game which has DRM on it because I play on PS5 and the PS4, right? So I don't know what you
game
guys
में
are talking
DRM
about.
है उसमें तो every
I
game
want
has
to know
PS.
हमारे zoomer उपहार का and his friends का opinion इस पे.
Here देखो, this answer can be divided into only 2 points that affects the entire
Always
thing.
online,
2 words.
Always
always
online.
online and regional pricing.
Yeah. So basically, पहला तो है यार encouraging. India में nobody is encouraged to buy. Only disencouraged at every step that you can see. Starting right from home itself. Most of us know why. Secondly, thanks to RuPay cards. RuPay cards and the launchers and all. सबको पता है अब तुम ये एपिक वाले आर दी मोस्ट आउटरीजियस पीपल. तुम INR में प्राइस लिख सकते हो, but you can't introduce Indian payment systems, which is probably the biggest payment system in the entire world right now. In fact, even Valorant released back in like just a year ago now. उसके अंदर UPI है, गेम के अंदर UPI है, right?
अच्छा.
So I don't think Epic के लिए इतना हार्ड है इतना करना. Steam कैश ऑन डिलीवरी करवाती है, वो अलग बात है, बहुत स्कैम है. Like my friend ordered GTA 5, उसको मिला ही नहीं कभी.
मुझे अभी तक समझ में नहीं आता. I'm not able to wrap this concept of buying a digital good and playing cash on delivery. मतलब वो तभी अनलॉक होगा जब वो बंदा आएगा घर पे आपके ऐसा लाइक डाउन.
हाँ, वो पैसा लेगा और फिर वो कॉल करके बोलेगा इसके कोड में एक्टिव कर दो. बेसिकली वो होता इसलिए था ना क्योंकि कार्ड्स नहीं थे तब, ATM कार्ड नहीं, वो मम्मी से मांगो, मम्मी कैश देती है. दैट्स हाउ यू बाय गेम्स. लाइक पर्सनली द फर्स्ट तो बात ये है कि नोबडी इज एनकरेज्ड टू बाय गेम्स. सेकेंडली, nobody is disencouraged to pirate. For me, देखो, I think piracy is a gray area. For some people, it's a necessity, क्योंकि obviously नहीं है. But then you become like Jay Bhaiya. You repay your sins by buying all the games later. So that's what I'm doing right now too. Like I have all the Assassin's Creed games in my library. क्या मतलब मैंने आधे फ्री में claim करे, but जो भी है, like including a fact that I want to add कि
ये बंदा वेट कर रहा है हर Assassin's Creed की 5-year एनिवर्सरी होने का ताकि इसको फ्री में claim
Uplay पे free मिलेगा.
free मिलेगा.
कोई और
Like-
monument चल जाए.
Adding to that fact, like disencourage मैं इसलिए हुआ था. Like Epic में I'm not gonna make any transaction in my life ever. I bought Borderlands 5 months before it went free. I made my friends buy Borderlands. They bought it. I bought the Ultimate Edition 1600 रुपए देके सेल के बाद. Like as Sushi is saying, it's more harder to convince your friends. I convinced my friend. उन्होंने खुद से पे करा. That's even harder.
अरे वेट, फिर उपहार तुम लोग तो एपिक स्टोर वगैरह पे भी खेलते होगे आराम से हैप्पीली.
नहीं एपिक और बेकार है. मोर थैंक यू फॉर एडिंग.
डू यू प्ले जैसे बॉर्डरलैंड्स एपिक वगैरह पे फ्री था ना, तो डू यू गाइस आर यू गाइस ओके विद कि एपिक पे कुछ गेम फ्री है तो हाँ इस पे खेल लेंगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. लाइक डू यू गाइस ऐसे कोई प्राइड या कुछ आता नहीं है रास्ते में?
यार देखो,
मतलब what he's asking is
free, I don't
like
care.
do you mind? हाँ exactly, that was the question he was asking.
देखो, when it comes to me and my friends, अगर मैं Dying Light 2 भी बात कर रहा हूँ 4 लोगों के साथ में, I'm talking about 7,000 worth of money. कम बोल दिया मैंने, you guys know 4,000 to 4 बहुत ज्यादा हो गया. तो
इतना बड़ा नंबर तो सुशीर के दिमाग में घुसते नहीं है.
16,000 रुपए का हम एंटरटेनमेंट नहीं कर सकते, पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. So if you're talking about an alternative that is offered on Epic, yes, I will take it. But coming back to our question here, piracy अभी कुछ लोग जानबूझ के करते हैं. Number 1, piracy is easy. For some reason, though the pirating जो इंडस्ट्री है, उन लोगों को मजा आता है करने में. उनके बीच में कंपटीशन है कौन पहले पायरेट करेगा. So I'll get more clicks on my hentai ads के site, and they'll earn millions out of it. That's their business, that's their bread and butter. But कुछ लोग यहाँ पे मजे के लिए करते हैं. They're like, oh आ गया, चलो डाउनलोड करते हैं. Even they can pay for it. Even they can protest. इंडिया पे इतने सारे लोग हैं, सब मिलके प्रोटेस्ट करते, बोले हम आपका गेम खरीद नहीं रहे, रिव्यू बॉम्बिंग करके आ जाए, 2 दिन में रीजनल प्राइसिंग आ जाएगा. बट नोबडी वांट्स टू डू दैट. एवरीबॉडी वांट्स टू पायरेट द गेम, प्ले द गेम. 15 FPS पे चलता है पायरेट करके भी, बिकॉज दे डोंट केयर. पीसी उनका मोस्टली ऐसे ही होता है, एंड
लैपटॉप
they just want the icon on the screen when they go to college, to be honest. ऐसी ऑडियंस है हमारे पास.
When I hear the enthusiasm of youngsters like Uphar, I understand I'm old. थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है सुन के. I like the spirit of Uphar, that you think that world problems can be solved this way, but I encourage that.
हाँ है ना,
Like-
I love it. तो ये क्या जस्ट हम रिव्यू हम कर देंगे, वो लेके आएगा प्राइस.
like we can do pull off that shit. We are बहुत पहले हम लोग, ठीक है, at certain point. But idea is जो लोग अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं ना, like सुशीर भैया, वैसे जो लोग हैं ये लोग बस पायरेट करके भाग जाते हैं.
भाई इंडिया में ऐसा भी हो सकता है जैसे द लास्ट ऑफ अस की जगह द अमंग अस को वो डाउनलोड कर दें वो लोग, उनको कुछ पता नहीं है, स्नैपचैट की जगह स्नैपडील को कर दिया.
होता है. अब देखो, आई वोंट बाय द लास्ट ऑफ अस. आई एम अ कंज्यूमर ना, आई एम टेलिंग दिस एज अ कंज्यूमर. आप लोग अपने ओपिनियन डालते हो कि यू गाइस आर नॉलेजेबल. मैं कंज्यूमर के एंड से ये बता रहा हूँ, मैं 13 घंटे की गेम प्ले के लिए क्यों 6,000 रुपए खर्चू, 5,000 रुपए खर्चू. 2 दिन में खत्म करी है मैंने.
Uphar put it the way I didn't want to.
Day
वो
before-
बोल दिया जो मैं
Right-
बोलना नहीं चाहता.
right now the marketing team of the last Naughty Dog, उनके पास कंटेंट ही नहीं है इंस्टाग्राम पे डालने के. if you guys have noticed, all they are posting is about accessibility option that I'm never going to use. I was wearing the Pulse 3D
ये
headphones
सब-
and I
ये सब
never
कुछ-
felt the 3D sounds.
ये सब कुछ लास्ट ऑफ अस वाले सेक्शन में क्यों नहीं डाला?
अच्छा उसमें नहीं था.
ये तो अगले हफ्ते रिलीज होगा ना, तो nobody will watch this. So I'd like to rest my case. Thanks.
But
That's a good roundup to that.
एक एंटी पायरेसी का वो चीज है कि it's simpler to buy a game and play it than to pirate it, because like you said, half the time तुम pirate वाले वेबसाइट पे जाओ, इतने सारे पॉपअप्स वगैरह एड ब्लॉक के साथ भी तुम हाल टाइम तो तुम वायरस डाउनलोड कर लो, माइनर वायरस कुछ ना कुछ तो हो रहा है.
That's
It's
right.
just easier to buy the game on Steam and play it. Like, I think one of the reasons that once, even when I was in college and I was like making 5,000 a month, I was still spending a majority of my money in just buying Steam games because उस पे achievements थे and I could like track what I was doing. Cloud saves था, and because it was just so convenient to just not worry about anything, just download the game and play it. कुछ सोचना ही नहीं है, सीधा लाइब्रेरी में ओ सही है, हाँ डाउनलोड.
ऐसे
No
ही तो
need to
बिल
go कहीं यहाँ वहाँ.
ऐसे ही तो बिलियनर बन रहा गेम. ऐसे फेंकते रहोगे स्क्रीन पे तो ऐसे ही होगा.
अरे 5,000 रुपए, अरे मुझे 2,000 रुपए तो खाने के लिए चाहिए थे, ये ले.
ये लेके बस तू खा, मेरे साइड तो तू खा लियो.
but
I know. But yeah, I think like the end of the thing is like we all understand that DRM is here to stay because not everybody thinks the same way around piracy. Some think of it, some think of piracy as like cutting in their sales, like developer profit, and the other, they don't focus on the pirate numbers. They tend to think like if somebody, like Mother
Free
said, if
market.
somebody wants to pirate, he's going to pirate anyways, right? So yeah, I think it's very difficult, but I think by and large for the near future, I think DRM is here to stay. So if you're buying games, you will have to, take that into account whenever you're running those on the PC at least.
या GOG से ले लो.
या GOG से ले लो. Yeah, that's also another option.
Yeah, good
All
comment.
right. Piracy is like the weirdo एक चीज है जिसमें like somehow चोरी कर रहे हैं but feel नहीं हो रहा है कि
You wouldn't download a car.
Additionally,
Yeah.
all the pirate ones were brought to you by Ubisoft. Skull and Bones. 2 months to go.
गोटी एकदम.
Yes.
Always online.
Always on.
All right. Question for Ayush. ये Braniac से आ रहा है. I would like Ayush to tell his Series X experience. Is it worth it? And don't make it a comparison with the PS5. Treat them as two different platforms. ये पता नहीं फिर तो it's a console that plays games. But Ayush, what are your thoughts?
adding to the question, Steam Deck or Series X? Series S.
Yeah, देखो, I think like I don't think Steam Deck is a console competitor in any way because you play those two things very differently altogether, right? Steam Deck is a handheld, and you can make it work as a PC in some scenarios, but I don't think it's ideal. Like I said, you wouldn't connect it to your TV and then connect like an Bluetooth controller and play it because it doesn't have the battery life to run that long as in those sessions. So the comment question, right? So I've been playing the Xbox Series X for a couple of weeks now. I've made it my main console. It's connected to the TV. Lots of games on Game Pass right now, which is great, and which is also kind of paralyzing because you never know what to play. And now there's this new problem of games going out of Game Pass, which and like 3 games I picked, they're all that I had downloaded to play were all going out for some reason. Right. So Hades was going out, Spiritfarer was going out. So Hades, so I gave up on immediately. I was thinking that this is not going. I am not going to finish it in 7 days. There's no chance. So Spiritfarer, I gave it a little bit of turn. Cricket 22 is there, but the thing is, like, I like some of the accessibility options in the Xbox. Like you can know what a TV is capable of, or what a cable is kind of able to deliver. So if you want to get into those kinds of options as to how to optimize your experience for that particular display, it's much more easier to find out those information. And apart from that, I think like it's very close between the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. I didn't find a lot of trouble moving between the two if I wanted to. And what I found is like if I'm playing a game on one console, I kind of play games on it. I will keep on playing it for a while on them, and then when I switch, then I don't use the other one for a while. So it's like I stay on one and then stay on it for a while. But of course, I haven't had the uh, luxury of having all three consoles for a long time. So we'll see in the long term which wins. For example, right now, unless like something special comes out of the PlayStation, I don't think I'll be putting the Xbox on secondary because it has Game Pass. There are so many more games to play there, and it has a rotating roster of games, new games coming in every month, right? So it's very difficult to ignore that and go onto the PlayStation to play other games. So maybe if there was like a delta where there were like three games coming on the PlayStation Plus which were not there on the Xbox Game Pass and vice versa, then I would have to choose. But right now it's mostly Xbox Series X right now, and I think that will remain the case going in the future also, unless like something like God of War comes out, or the new Ghost of Tsushima comes out, where you have to go to the PS5 to play them. ऐसा.
चस्का लग गया गेम पास का
अरे I understand the value of Game Pass completely. मैं तो I always said it. और it's when the console is there ना, it's very difficult to pull it out. जैसे अभी like I'm playing multiverses, ठीक है? तो अब कहाँ और खेले? Like I can go onto the PlayStation console, but I've already had it connected. Why do I want to turn the other one off on? ऐसा.
Two questions
ऐसा
adding
हुआ.
to it. Multiverses खेल सकते हो अब? How do you like it?
यार मेरे लिए तो it's a little too button smashy. थोड़ा सा मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या हो रहा है. पर उसमें like but I keep winning games for some reason. ऐसा.
Game Pass
Suffering
power
from
over.
success.
Pay to win. So I think multiverses I found out कि it's not in India.
नहीं है.
हाँ, that's true. But
अभी
I have a
मेरे
Canadian
को
account.
बीटा कोड मिला था बहुत पहले, वो चाहिए थी. So I was wondering why. Secondly,
So game is still in beta अभी तो.
नहीं अल्फा, सॉरी, बीटा से
Okay.
क्लोज बीटा है ना. तो दूसरी बात, जैसे तो पीसी पे इफ यू डाउनलोड गेम्स व्हिच आर अबाउट टू लीव, तो you can play it until it is downloaded in my PC. So is it same for the console or you haven't
यार
found out yet?
I asked these guys.
that
वैसे तो
part
अभी
is
गए नहीं है ना.
part has changed, I think. Have you tried that out?
Yeah, आज ही खेला River City Girls.
But they will now, the games I have, Hades and Spiritfarer, I have them installed, but they will leave on 31st. So there's still like a couple of days. I have given up on them, but I'll try about on the second maybe if they're still working. But I'm still going through my cricket career on Cricket 22. Man, I just became the captain of Dehradun team cricket team, so I'm really happy with that.
Slowly rising the ranks. Nice.
हाँ, वहाँ चल रहा है काम अभी भाई. अभी मैंने कल 9 बॉल में 50 रन मारे, 16 बॉल में 100. बताओ. ऐसे
Boss will like Hardik Pandya who?
Quick transition from cricket. ठीक है, अगला क्वेश्चन थोड़ा लंबा है, so we'll take it in parts. शशि का क्वेश्चन है. तो he kind of says कि काफी सारे जो प्लेयर गेमर्स इंडिया में,
Oh my god, no.
नहीं तो काफी सारे जो गेमर्स है इंडिया में ना, they like a lot of people are playing free to play games and a lot of free to play stuff is multiplayer. So people are kind of used to playing multiplayer, CS:GO, Dota, ये सारे games खेल रहे हैं now. तो many more, Fortnite, PUBG and all, Free Fire, all of it. तो he's saying like he watched a video of me talking about Game Pass, तो वहाँ से he got tried Game Pass and now he is उसका वो खुद मतलब शशि used to play a lot of Dota, 2700 hours or something. So it became a sickness, but बच गया वो Game Pass के through, saved him. And he is playing a lot of games now, but वो कह रहा है अभी भी अपने friends को convince नहीं कर पाता. Again जो piracy वाला issue या people not wanting to spend money, और honestly काफी लोग not even interested in trying single player stuff ना. Game Pass आने के बाद भी वो try नहीं कर रहे हैं. They want it cheaper. So he is kind of wondering if like the family वाला Game Pass आएगा So will it change? But also like, what do you think will make people try single player games? So Sashi, I think the essence of Sashi का question है like क्या incentive हो जो multiplayer से hooked है? Like I
कोई
don't know the
incentive
answer to
नहीं
this
है.
क्योंकि मेरे लिए mostly उल्टा है. Like I मेरे लिए getting into something multiplayer has to be like जैसे co-op कुछ होगा या once in a while थोड़ा Call of Duty, but nothing more. तो उसका how to go the other way तो मुझे पता ही नहीं.
यार मतलब I don't know the answer to that question either. मतलब मुझे लगता है कि like I've in my experience somebody who is into multiplayer ना, so like would not care about single player at all. मतलब मेरे experience में ज्यादातर ऐसा होता है. Unless like मतलब जैसे Sushir is one of the exceptions actually, जो who plays multiplayer and plays single player मतलब in both times. जैसे मैं हूँ, I normally the most multiplayer I can go on is like वो randos in Destiny, where I have to make up some matches for some goals and all. But that's about it, right? But it's very difficult to convert a multiplayer religious person into a single player person.
I think एक तरीका है. Okay, listen to this plan.
Okay.
ठीक है.
ये
Step
dark arts
स्टेप 1, उनको ना गेम पास दिलवाओ. ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं से लाके उनको
दिलवाओ कैसे, लेने को तैयार नहीं है ना वो.
50 रुपए दो उनको, उनका अकाउंट में डालो
हाँ.
50 रुपए और बोलो गेम पास लो. ठीक है.
हम्म.
दूसरा स्टेप, कोऑप गेम ढूंढो दैट इज सिमिलर टू व्हाट दे लाइक प्लेइंग. ठीक है कोऑप गेम पास पे मिल जाएंगे 2 प्लेयर से 4 प्लेयर तक. कुछ नहीं मिल रहा, डीप रॉक गैलेक्टिक उठा लो, 7 डेज टू डाई उठा लो, कोई सा भी कोऑप गेम उठा लो. ठीक है, एंड स्टार्ट प्लेइंग दैट. जबरदस्ती खिलाओ उनको बिठा के कि ये खेलेंगे हम. एंड वो वंस यू स्टार्ट दैट कोऑप गेम, उसके बाद इज हाउ दे विल ऑटोमेटिकली स्टार्ट टू सी कि अच्छा हम और क्या कोऑप खेल सकते हैं. बिकॉज दे विल सी द अपील ऑफ इट. जहाँ पे स्किल बेस्ड कंपटीशन है इन डोटा, CS:GO, वैलोरेंट, ऑल दीज गेम्स, कोऑप में देयर इज अ डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ इच डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ एडिक्शन हो जाते हैं उसके साथ ना, कोऑप के साथ विद व्हेन डूइंग PvE. तो वो एक बार जब हो जाएगा ना, देन दे विल ऑटोमेटिकली स्टार्ट टू लुक फॉर मोर गेम्स उस टाइप के, एंड फिर उनको सिंगल प्लेयर गेम्स मिलेंगे. एंड उनको एक बार सिंगल प्लेयर गेम्स मिल गए तो तुम मिशन सक्सेस. ठीक है, तो स्टेप 1, 50 रुपए गेम पास लो, उनके अकाउंट में कुछ भी करके डालो. स्टेप 2, जबरदस्ती खेलो उनके साथ कोई कोऑप गेम. ठीक है, जिसमें मे बी अगर स्टोरी एलिमेंट हो तो और भी बढ़िया स्वाद. स्टेप 3 इज प्रॉफिट.
I have a little different.
Adding to it, I've done this. This has happened. Now it has 2 drawbacks, but I'll tell you the solutions for it too. ठीक है? This is a science experiment. अभी हम और इस पे वर्क कर
What
रहे हैं.
experiment?
So Darren का एक्सपेरिमेंट हो गया. अब इससे क्या रिजल्ट आया, उस पे क्या फिक्सेस है. पहला प्रॉब्लम ये है, वी फाउंड अ गेम कॉल्ड Sea of Thieves. Brilliant game, definitely made for 4 players. प्रॉब्लम ये, we loved it so much we bought it on Steam. क्योंकि Xbox एक्सपायर होने वाला था. So don't stick to a game too long. Remember that observation. दूसरा observation, find friends who have the time to play games. I have friends who are working job all day and all they want to do is play a game of Valorant and sleep. Don't have time to play ऐसे single players, especially oldies. ऐसे नए नए games जो आ रहे हैं वो they do
Oldies?
like it. Oldies as in
कौन oldies?
Bioshock, ये
अभी
वो
अभी and Darren.
ओल्डी
अच्छा,
गेम्स.
oldie games, not guys.
ठीक है,
Sorry.
continue.
Direct attack.
मेरे को
Sorry. Wrong pronunciation. But idea ये friends अगर है खेलने वाले तो गेम पास दिलाओ. गेम पास भी खुद महंगा है. ठीक है, अभी हमने तो वो बीच में एक्सप्लॉइट आया था, मैं तो फरवरी 2023 तक ले लिया. बट
वो भी चल रहा है.
हाँ वो, बट अभी सब 850 नहीं दे सकते ना. PlayStation
Wait,
पे I can still
Does that exploit work in Canada too? कोई बताएगा उसको ढूंढ के.
वो खत्म हो गया. वो बहुत पहले का आया था. And lastly, if you still are finding reasons to convince, there are 2 easy reasons. स्टार्टिंग में तो 50 का मिल जाएगा. नए लैपटॉप्स पे 3 महीने का मिलता है. डिस्कॉर्ड नाइट्रो मिलेगा. डिस्कॉर्ड नाइट्रो इज अ वेरी गुड थिंग. सो दिस इज अ गुड डेट. प्लस और भी पर्क्स आते रहते हैं, सो डू चेक आउट द पर्क्स एंड ऑल.
Wait, Uphar, I have a question then for you. ये I think Sashi का भी एक क्वेश्चन का पार्ट था कि ना, जैसे do you know anybody जो अभी भी कह रहा है कि गेम पास is too expensive, कि ना जब मे बी फैमिली प्लान आएगा तो 4 दोस्तों के साथ वो स्प्लिट करके ले
डेफिनेटली
लेंगे, ऐसे लोग हैं?
बिल्कुल
Oh yeah, okay, go on.
क्योंकि 850 के बाद टैक्स लग रहा है उस पर कुछ 60-70 रुपए.
ओ
एंड
भाई.
इंडिया इज अ कंट्री जहाँ पे हम 400 रुपए का खाना मंगवाते हैं, वी नीड 30 रुपए डिस्काउंट.
Ayush,
we are poor. ठीक है, we are not that much. Every penny we save is going towards something we want to buy in the coming through the 3 months.
I have a solution for that.
3-step program.
इंडिया टीम के पास
प्रो टिप है, ठीक है?
गो
अगर गेम पास का तुम्हें लेना है विदाउट पेइंग फॉर टैक्स, ओके, यू गेट अ गिफ्ट कार्ड माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के, उससे माइक्रोसॉफ्ट गिफ्ट कार्ड लो एंड उसको रिडीम करो. You don't have to pay.
Tax evasion वाला challenge नहीं है.
Tax evasion.
Let me go there. Let me.
Hey, उपहार ना speechless है.
अरे वो गिफ्ट कार्ड 50 रुपए का दिया था, बट इट्स अ गुड सॉल्यूशन. I'm talking about 50
रुपए तो ऑफ में मिल जाता है. जैसे क्रेडिट कार्ड है तुम्हारे पास, उससे पॉइंट्स इकट्ठे करो, उन पॉइंट्स से गिफ्ट कार्ड ले लो, गिफ्ट कार्ड के साथ वो ले लो.
यार हमारी शक्ल देखो ना, हमारे पास क्रेडिट कार्ड्स नहीं होते, हम अपना पेटीएम का वो वीसा कार्ड यूज करते हैं, उस पे अलग से
तो उसमें वो नहीं
इंटरेस्ट
आते तुम्हारे पास, वो पॉइंट्स ऐड नहीं होते जो लोग आपस में शेयर करते रहते हो, 10 रुपए भेजते हो ऐसे करके, वो नहीं आते.
वो हो गया खत्म.
वो सब खत्म हो गया. अब से वो आजियो जी वगैरह बन गए और कुछ नहीं.
अच्छा, I have a little different perspective to this. ये जो पूरा गेम पास वाला controversy and you know how to get people.
Controversy.
PlayStation ले लो.
ये सब सोच रहे हैं, शशि सोच रहा है कि मतलब कैसे मैं अपने दोस्त लोग को बोलूं. तो the first thing that I want to say is that you know, I said that I'm playing both single player and multiplayer. My multiplayer life would not have started if I was not into like in a random match in CS:GO and met some of my friends. It would not have continued down the road and I would have kept on being a single player. हम लोग जो एज के हैं and we all started off with single player games and that is why there's an ecosystem of that. Like we keep on doing the same thing that we like. जो जिससे हम लोग मतलब बड़े हुए हैं, we keep on trying to do that. And people now are growing up with multiplayer. You know, people now are growing up with mobile, so they are more interested in that. And it's not a bad thing. It's a matter of perspective. कि multiplayer people are क्या बोलते हैं, दोस्त लोग के साथ हम लोग को मतलब लैंडलाइन में फोन करके मिलने जाना पड़ता था पार्क में, एंड नाउ पीपल कैन सिट ऑन डिस्कॉर्ड एंड टॉक टू देयर फ्रेंड्स एंड दैट्स इट्स अ बिग चेंज एंड पीपल वांट टू फोर्टनाइट के पार्क में मिलते हैं एंड इट्स अ बिग डील ओवर देयर. द रीजन व्हाई आई थिंक गेम पास लाइक things might work out in the future is like which even worked before, graphics. I think graphics is a big deal. जब हम लोग भी छोटे थे तो the first thing that we would look at a game is like अरे इसमें physics है, मतलब the first time physics was there कि कपड़ा हिल रहा है या कांच टूट रहा है, and that was like mind blowing for all of us. And we used to think like मतलब ये गेम तो खेलना ही है, इसमें कांच टूटता है, इसमें ऐसा कुछ होता है, इसमें ये कर सकते हैं, इसमें जंप करके कहीं जा सकते हैं and stuff like that. So all those things which are there are also applicable nowadays. अब आज के दिन में जब कोई गॉड ऑफ वॉर के वीडियो देखते हैं या स्पाइडरमैन की वीडियो देखते हैं, दे गेट काइंड ऑफ लाइक नो लेट मी चेक आउट, इट्स अ सिनेमैटिक काइंड ऑफ अ गेम, सिनेमा वाला फील देता है, आई वांट टू प्ले इट समवॉट. दीस काइंड ऑफ गेम्स कैन चेंज एंट्री इनटू गेम पास. अगर गेम पास में ऐसा क्वालिटी का गेम आया जो विच कैन बी सिनेमैटिक, विच कैन बी गुड, देन पीपल विल डेफिनेटली, तब वो बात आ जाता है अरे डिस्काउंट में मिल रहा है, 4000 नहीं देना पड़ेगा, वी कैन गेट इट फॉर लाइक यू नो
Forza Horizon है ऐसा एक.
यस या सो
वैसे मुझे लगता है कि जैसे द गेम्स आर, जैसे बात करें ना सुशीर, जैसे लाइक मूविंग फ्रॉम समथिंग फ्रॉम लोल और वैलोरेंट टू मे बी इतना बड़ा ट्रांजिशन नहीं होना चाहिए जैसे मूव टू आउटराइडर्स या फिर मूव टू मार्वल एवेंजर्स फेल्ड, बट लाइक दैट काइंड ऑफ गेम व्हिच इज स्टिल लाइक पीवीई बट हैज अ लॉट ऑफ वेरी स्ट्रांग इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ पीवीपी इन्वॉल्वड इन इट.
Division 2.
Yep, Thieves.
Destiny.
और दूसरा बात रहता है कि
Overwatch.
Since the PC like community is so fragmented regarding configurations and कोई एक particular benchmark नहीं है या कुछ नहीं है, so what happens is that even when people are playing in a group, ऐसा हो सकता है कि 3 जन के कंप्यूटर पे चलता है, चौथे वाले के नहीं चलता, so that becomes also a big deal going forward. So rather people get like अरे सब जिसमें चलता है Scribble आयो जैसा लोग बैठ के गेम खेलते हैं because like everybody can play through. So community definitely makes a difference. But Game Pass and all these kind of subscription services like the PS Plus service and everything going forward will have like a growing impact. Will have a growing impact coming into India. कि इसमें like जैसे वो Valorant के सब सारे you know agents आएंगे, तो what will happen? People will वो Game Pass वाला subscription नहीं किया, वो 2 महीने का लेगा to try that out, to check those things out. कि सब सारे चीज unlocked हो जाएंगे, you know I can check those things out and see. So all those things will matter going forward. But AAA cinematic game will always keep drawing people. AAA cinematic game will always keep drawing people. That has like it worked on us. It will work on these kind of people. So it's a not a deal breaker.
Yeah. And lastly, before wrapping up, Shashi था ना question? Yeah.
उसका part बाकी है.
अच्छा sorry. बोल दे दो फिर भी. शशि friend है तो ठीक है. I tried making my girlfriend play Halo 1 with me because I wanted to introduce her to the Halo franchise. She enjoys Valorant. Panga ye, she enjoys playing with me. Full stop. She does not enjoy Halo. ठीक है? It's not that, but because she has more responsibility towards academics.
You're saying you should be a part of Game Pass.
Uphar को bundle करना चाहिए Microsoft को.
He's coming. He's part of the Ubisoft Plus package.
कुछ आगे?
Be a
Is
single
there a
player.
further question to this, Manas?
There is. Manas. इसके further question है शशि का?
No. Yeah, we
Okay.
can continue. Move on from Shashi. So next, this is not really a question. इसमें याद है last time starting में comments में भी picked SK का comment where he asked how to get better at speaking English and all. So I saw like others recommending books to Shashi कह रहा हूँ RK को SK को, and Shashi was recommending books. Risho had some inputs, and also Ishaan mentioned कि the first question was really helpful for all of us. So yeah, I kind of like कि सब मिलके थोड़ा enjoying the whole थोड़ा weird एक tangent पे हम गए थे. Good fun. Vineet का एक question था. I expected Manas to talk about Stalker when we talked about 10 on 10 games, but मेरे mind में था Last of Us 2 is like easy to visualize and understand for everybody, and I think उसके हर aspect like काफी flawless है. लेकिन Stalker में there are like major gameplay challenges, bugs हैं काफी. वो गेम थोड़ा अनवील्डी भी था वैसे ना, एंड लाइक जैसे आउटर वाइल्ड्स होगा, लाइक आई मेंशन्ड डिस्क्वेलिज्म नॉट फॉर एवरीबॉडी. लास्ट ऑफ अस ऐसा लगता है लाइक इट्स अ मेनस्ट्रीम गेम, तो इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड. दैट्स व्हाई आई टुक दैट एग्जांपल. ईशान ने बोला फॉलआउट वुड बी अ मास्टरपीस इफ द लॉन्चर डिडंट क्रैश एवरी 10 मिनट्स. ये मुझे पर्सनली ये इशू आता है लाइक फॉलआउट 4 में. आई नो कि देयर इज लाइक अ वेरी इजी फिक्स या पैच फॉर इट, बट फॉलआउट 4 में ऐसा है कि यू स्टार्ट द गेम एंड यू गेट आउट ऑफ योर हाउस and you take a turn and the game crashes consistently every time अगर तुम उसको patch ना करो. मैं क्या what the fuck चला ये
8GB RAM वाला patch.
but how is this allowed? मतलब क्या ये कैसे चल रहा है यार अभी के टाइम? So many years हो गए ना, why is the community still doing that?
Starfield पे भी यही होगा.
The answer is one word, Bethesda.
What the fuck is this, man?
Bethesda को free pass मिल के रखा है.
2 words. Nexus mods.
बस.
But damn it, सही में ईशान, like good question. चलो आशीष वालिया का question है. Review scores may be helpful to relatively new gamers, but for guys like us, they serve no purpose. For example, someone like Ayush should never give 2 hoots if a WWE game is 5 out of 10. अच्छा वो आयुष नहीं है यहाँ पे. He'll play it regardless as he knows what he likes, and that's the end of the story. I feel like guys like us shouldn't look. Huh?
That's verbatim what Ayush said.
Yeah. I feel like guys like us shouldn't rank the games based on scores, as we've graduated to the point that we can just see a game and know if we want to play it or not. At this point, rating a game would be disrespectful to our passion for video games, as we don't need it to label the games we enjoy. मेरे mind में था, we had this discussion because we all like some point or the other review games now or have reviewed games. So like जैसे putting a score on a game, just it's good fun in terms of discussion. मतलब I don't mean to disrespect a game. या कभी कभी तो करना पड़ता भी है with a low score, but not that like it's just fun to see उस perspective से, and also I feel कि review scores do have like good value वैसे यार, like at a glance mainstream audience के लिए to get an understanding of mainstream thought and opinion क्या है इस game को लेके.
नहीं, adding to it, I think since अभी थोड़ा writing ज़्यादा कर रहा हूँ मैं, Gamerfine तो has graduated. Right now we use the open critic standard of recommended, skippable, and one more Sushir, you know. And ratings तो हम बस I think अब खुद के लिए और PR के लिए डालते हैं personally. Essential, yeah. So The Last of Us किस में डालेंगे? Essential.
This is completely
the original Last of Us was definitely essential, yeah. But it is your rating. You have to figure it out, not my headache.
Open critic में तुम्हारा नाम आएगा. So
अच्छा ये email देना.
9.25 से कम.
बस खत्म.
उफार का आएगा skippable उसका.
What? उफार की review skippable.
Gamerfine से skipped.
Yeah, but it's an interesting perspective. But I think what's like don't yuck someone's yum. Yeah. So I mean, अगर किसी को rating चाहिए तो वो rating ले सकता है. अगर किसी को पूरा पढ़ना है तो पढ़ सकता है. I mean, I think it's a point of perspective.
Marketing and PR के लिए अच्छा है ना, वो हम लेवल पे छाप देंगे 10 out of 10 IGN, 9 out of 10 GameSpot. तो लोग अगर दुकान में पुराने जमाने में दुकान में होते कहते भाई साहब IGN ने इसको 10 दिए हैं तो ये गेम अच्छा होगा उठा लेता हूँ मैं, तो वो तब तो बहुत काम आता
हाँ
था।
मतलब
मतलब
जैसे
रिव्यूज
आई थिंक लाइक जैसे हर जगह रेटिंग सिस्टम तो काम आती है ना, लाइक वॉट एवर द रिकमेंडेशन इन द स्टोर ऑल्सो, स्टीम रिव्यूज, हर जगह पे देयर इज सम रेटिंग सिस्टम दैट इज लाइक हाउ आर यू गेटिंग लाइक मोस्टली पॉजिटिव ऑन स्टीम बिकॉज somebody is pressing that thumb up button na? So it's not as if those ratings are like poor now, like or they are मतलब उनकी कोई एडवांटेज नहीं है, like they still have an advantage if you know, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल let's say if you know that you know this particular outlet has given Persona 4 games a very high rating, you know, and you like Persona 4 or Persona 5, and then the game comes out which is given a very high rating by the same publications, then there is a good chance that you would like that game as well.
रिव्यू स्कोर्स विल सेव यू योर मनी। मेरे को याद है साइबरपंक के रिलीज होने के 4 दिन पहले गेम स्टॉप ने 6 या 7 का स्कोर दिया था। एक लड़की ने रिव्यू करा था, बहुत गाली दी थी उस लड़की को, मेरे को बुरा लगने लग गया था। बट इफ पीपल हैड लिसन टू हर, एक टी शर्ट कम होती लेकिन पैसा होता घर में, इतनी सी बात है।
But from a reviewer side, right? I feel कि when I have to give a rating, I don't like it, क्योंकि यार मैंने इतने मेहनत से यार कम से कम मिनिमम 1500 वर्ड्स तो लिखे हैं मैंने, पढ़ लो, उसमें से ओपिनियन निकाल लो अपना सालो, क्या तुम नंबर देख रहे हो मेरा? है इतनी मेहनत करी मैंने लिखने में, सब सोचने में, स्क्रिप्ट बनाने में, एडिटर से करवाने में काम।
सबसे बढ़िया पार्ट पता है क्या होता है डरन, कि जैसे यू राइट अ रिव्यू है ना, तो यू राइट ये सेक्शन में कि इसमें मुझको इस गेम के बारे में ये बुरा लगा और ये मुझको बहुत अच्छा लगा, एंड देन यू गिव अ रेटिंग ऑफ 8 लेट्स से, ठीक है, फिर उसमें कमेंट आएगा कि पर इस गेम में मुझको वो प्रॉब्लम थी और तूने 8 कैसे दे दी रेटिंग, एंड यू टॉक्ड अबाउट दैट प्रॉब्लम इन द रिव्यू।
इट्स लाइक सालो इतनी मेहनत करी यार,
इस गेम में बाइक है।
As a reviewer, टाइम लगता है यार, like if you want to play a 20-hour game within like one day, मेहनत है उसमें, and फिर उसको 2 दिन में तुम्हें रिव्यू छापना है उसका, तो it's like a lot of time to like quickly finish the game, formulate your thoughts.
गेम पढ़ने पड़ेंगे।
Yeah, it's a pain. तो रिव्यू स्कोर मत पढ़ो, सॉरी रिव्यू नंबर मत पढ़ो, रिव्यू पढ़ो पूरा।
रिव्यू पढ़ो
पूरा मत पढ़ो,
इंग्लिश में अच्छी होगी।
उतना तो पढ़ लो जितना तुमसे मतलब है। तुम ग्राफिक्स के लिए खेलते हो, ग्राफिक कार्ड पढ़ लो, स्टोरी के लिए खेलते हो, स्टोरी पार्ट पढ़ लो, वर्डिट के लिए खेलते हो, स्कोर देख के गाली देख के भाग जाओ, व्यूज आएंगे साइट को यार, सपोर्ट करो अपनी इंडियन इंडस्ट्री को।
यस
वैसे मतलब आशीष का ऐसा लग रहा है हमने काफी पॉइंट्स थोड़े काउंटर किए, बट आई वांट टू से ही हैज अ वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट व्हेन ही सेज कि ऑल ऑफ अस आई थिंक विल look at some gameplay and know कि हमें खेलना है कि नहीं,
Yeah.
कि every interest or not ना, इतना तो मतलब समझ आ
Is this
गया
the comment where he talks about like Ayush will play every wrestling game
वो redacted था, वो part was,
कौन सा वाला?
वो part was redacted, वो मैंने काट दिया था।
because that is true,
That is
that is
true,
completely
yeah.
true वैसे। हाँ मतलब Ashish makes very good points, मतलब every time he puts on a comment I think he makes a very good point। वो तो हम लोग like we're just being devil's advocate in this sense, because like जैसे मानस है, he always plays every modern Warfare game that will come out, every FIFA game that comes out, है ना। Darren will always play every Unipop, every Persona,
Every
है ना?
Overwatch.
every war,
अभी तक
Abhi
every
will
Overwatch बोलने का टाइम नहीं आया।
every Overwatch
हर सीजन खेलता हूँ यार।
Overwatch Infinite।
Don't make
Okay.
fun of me.
चलो एवरी यूबीसॉफ्ट नहीं बोला, अच्छा लगा।
those games are beyond ratings। हाँ मतलब like Uphar we obviously know, right?
चलो final
Some
comment,
games are beyond rating।
फाइनल कमेंट, दिस इज लाइक अ फन थॉट एक्सपीरियंस सबके लिए। तनेरू लवन्या कहता कि आई वुड लाइक टू हैव अ मिशन इम्पॉसिबल गेम, इट वुड बी ग्रेट। ये वो पिचिंग आई थिंक गेम्स वाले ना उसमें से वो तो, बट माय थॉट इज यार वी आई थिंक वी हैव मल्टीपल मिशन इम्पॉसिबल टाइप की गेम्स, बट इन योर हेड लाइक which game had like a mission, or maybe which game most close to being a mission
But
impossible
also
game?
which
Which
Mission
movie?
Impossible movie,
Which
yeah.
movie?
कौन सा?
यार वो तो मैंने
Early
इतने
वाले,
I
बीच
don't think I've
वाले,
seen all of them, तो वो तो नहीं
they're
बता
also
पाऊंगा, but
different. Like after one,
Yeah.
like 1 is different, 2 is थोड़ा different, 3 is very different, 4
but एक over the
very
top
different.
bombastic feel,
The movie is
cinematics
you are a
type.
secret agent, you go on a mission, your country thinks you are not a secret agent anymore, and then you try to prove to your country that no, you're still loyal, and then the movie ends. Like that is the plot of all the Mission Impossible movies ever।
The only Mission Impossible is trying to prove your loyalty to your country. Manas,
मुझे
I
समझ में
just
नहीं आता भाई आफ्टर 3 मूवीज आई थिंक यूएस शुड अंडरस्टैंड हाँ हम लोग इसमें पहले थोड़ा सा ट्रस्ट तो होना चाहिए ना हम लोग पहले डाउट कर चुके हैं इस बंदे पे अब नहीं करना चाहिए हमको Ethan Hawke has gone rogue.
Manas, before you close the comment section, I just want to add one question. I think it's a good thought experiment. It's a question by Killer Gamers, and he talks about gaming scores too, just like Ashish does. And
Okay.
the thing is that he says that after he always gets 2 gaming scores. One that he gives a game just after finishing it, and then when after 6 months after he's finished the game, does time change the perspective of the game, like, or have a better understanding of where the game stands? So I just want to do a thought experiment, with all of you over here. Which game started off at one point, like when you were playing it or completed it, and 6 months or some time down the line, your idea about that game changed? Like, I would
पहले
want to
मैं एक
know
बात
about
बोलूं
that game.
लाइक
Yeah.
एक बात बोलूं सुशील सो आई थिंक जैसे आई नो व्हाट यू गाइस आर रेफरिंग टू एंड मोस्ट पीपल will hear that question ना they will talk about games which were worse but they improved over time
Okay.
because
Okay.
that is somehow automatically the understanding that you get like
Right.
rarely a good game becomes worse over time like 6 महीने की अपडेट के बाद is not a 9 point game any longer
Right.
है ना
Right. Right.
ऐसा होता है कि like it's a 5 point game a 3 point game and it becomes better over time it becomes a 8 pointer unless it's Overwatch तो
Right.
मतलब वो game that comes down from 10 to 5 ऐसा
Mhm.
मुझे लगता है but rarely I don't think anyone of us will be able to find example which started off as a 10 and then over time it dropped to like a 6.
But I think the idea
Couple
is like
months
if you are if you play the game, you just finished it, you loved everything about it, but you're not able to see the bad things,
flaws,
the
yeah.
flaws. Exactly, the game खत्म करके तुरंत बाद you're not able to see. You just you the game best, but after like a week or two, you finally realize that these are the flaws. So now my review score will probably go down by 2 points or 1 point. Yeah.
Will it like I don't मुझे लगता नहीं है वैसे मतलब honestly
Abhi,
speaking
so
Abhi did this.
let's start with
हाँ
Abhi.
हाँ
Abhi, give us an example of that kind of a game. जो
Ah.
starting में कुछ भी लगा और बाद में कुछ और लगा. ऐसा ऐसा क्या है? मतलब
Martha is dead.
नहीं I want to ask him which game did he give a 10 like but again that the game is in retrospective ना is
हाँ.
giving a 10 today
हाँ.
ऐसा नहीं 10 भी होना चाहिए, कुछ कुछ और भी नंबर हो सकता है, बड़ा घटा, whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't think so. I've given
69.
a game 10, jo ki like eventually I'm like, there are some flaws and I'll give it 8. But I think recently would be one such game. I think it would be Saints Row. The recent Saints Row game, which I thought was very enjoyable for me because I've never played the previous Saints Row game to get like comparisons and stuff. But I enjoyed it, and I would have I gave in my eyes I gave it like I would give it like a 9, not 9, 8, 8.5 kind of thing. But later down, I would say like, okay, there's some issues, a lot of issues. There's some things here and there that I just did not like, did not enjoy. So I would drop it down to probably 7 or 6.5 ish.
Did the negative feedback all around the media affect that thing too? मतलब सब
In
अगर खराब
some
बोल रहे तो कुछ
ways,
खराब
हाँ, in
हो
some
सकता है.
ways, क्योंकि बहुत सारे like almost सब लोग बोले थे कि it's a worst game, क्या game है, कुछ भी बकवास, क्या क्यों बनाया, ये सब like that was the reviews going on, probably the worst game out there. This was ऐसे सब चल रहा था. So maybe in some ways, but then I would go back and see some of the footage that I recorded, and I'm like, okay. Then I remembered like, okay, this thing happened and this was out of place. This seemed odd. So like
Right.
overall, eventually it kind of reduced. But yeah, like in the looking at the media and what people were talking about, that kind of shifted my mind a little bit, and that's why maybe the review score probably reduced. But I don't remember
Yeah.
any other game really that I have given a score and later on maybe it was probably at one point I was thinking about Last of Us Part 2 where everybody was talking. There was a part of the community was talking so bad about the game. So maybe I was like, maybe there's some flaws in the story. Maybe I did not see. But eventually I was like, no, man, for me it was great. And so I eventually got into like, it is 10 out of 10 for me. But yeah, that's the only thing.
I've
What-
done this,
Darren, yeah.
but I've done this with movies. Like
Game
I've
के
done this
साथ
with movies and TV shows. That I've done this, and my
Uh-huh.
friends do this after every Marvel show that comes out. We have a tier list, and उसमें then we think कि okay, कुछ move करना ऊपर नीचे ये वो, तो we do that. But games में I don't think I've ever had an experience where I played a game, thought it was great, and then 6 months later thought it was bad. Like its
wasn't great
opinion of it went down. Or if I played it again, replayed it after a couple of months or years, and went ki nahi, this isn't fun. Or basically ki if I replay a great game again, in my head I am just seeing the reasons even more ki
Reinforced.
why it is good. हाँ वो
Okay.
reinforce होते हैं. I have had situations where I've played a game, didn't like it, said it was horrible, threw it away, came back to it, and then liked it, not because the game got updated, but because I was in a different mind frame, or I was in a better, uh, uh, space where I could enjoy the game now for what it was, instead
Right.
of trying to take it for something else. I
तो
think
वैसे
Mass Effect
नाम बताओ.
ऐसा करा था.
Mass-
Mass Effect
अच्छा.
was this. Mass Effect 1 I couldn't get into when I first tried it. I was like कि ये क्या है, ये people say it's amazing, ये क्या बकवास है, मैं Citadel में घूम गया, मेरे को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा कहाँ जाना है मेरे को, ये क्या बेकार गेम है. And I like kept it aside, and I came back to it after 2 years and I played it again. I was patient with it, and then immediately something clicked, and that game went from like what 3 or something I would call it 3 that I would never touch, to being an absolutely banging 10 out of 10 franchise series for me. तो वो हुआ है. That's happened with me.
कौन सा game? Which game was that then?
Mass Effect.
अच्छा, Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Who wants to go
Uphar,
next? Uphar.
what about
Yeah,
you? In
definitely.
your short but expensive career as video game journalist.
Yeah, Far Cry 6.
अच्छा.
I genuinely had fun during starting थोड़ी explosive थी, ऐसे 2 शिप को तोड़ ताड़ के निकल रहे बीच में से, holy shit man. फिर 3 जगह थे. Characters, I had fun with the characters. Like of course काफी छोटा, जैसे Down the South एक army veteran मिलता था हमें, not army veteran, some अरे
Old freedom fighter.
जी से जो बोलते थे, जो भी, got the point. गेरिल्ला जो भी बोलते
Geia.
थे, गेरिल्ला. तो एक veteran गेरिल्ला था, and he dies eventually. Sorry for the spoilers. तो वो ना इनकम्प्लीट रह गया, वो बहुत दर्द हुआ, इनकम्प्लीट रह गया, बट दैट हैपेंड विद मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल. या तो वो मर जाते थे या तो वो रहते थे, यू आर विद देम, दे आर कनेक्टेड, एंड
या तो वो मरते थे या फिर वो नहीं मरते थे. तो
हाँ,
वही चीजें हो रही थी.
वो नहीं मर के भी स्टोरी पे बिल्ड नहीं कर रहे थे. साइड स्टोरीज भी बस फार की बस थी. टैंक लो 50 बिलबोर्ड फोड़ के, वो क्या हो रहा है. तो डाउन द एंड वन सेकंड द स्टोरी वाज एंडिंग. तो भाई ऐसी एंडिंग किसी की भी ना हो, मैं भगवान से प्रे करता हूँ किसी भी गेम की ऐसी एंडिंग ना हो. बट वही, आई
Hey
वाज
man, I
60%
like
in the
endings
game.
like that.
Yeah, but
So
definitely not
what did you initially score it, Uphar?
8 or 9, not sure.
And what would be your score today, like for that game?
6.5.
And who
Oh,
made the
man.
game?
मत बुलवाओ उसको.
No.
Everyone makes some
Honest.
mistake.
What do you think, man?
ऐसा हुआ क्या मानस तुम्हारे साथ?
Mike.
Sorry,
Mike,
I have examples of both. वैसे ना like पहले मुझे लगा था this is awesome, but looking back, yeah, this could have been a lot better. जैसे एक तो GTA San Andreas I felt, especially after GTA San Andreas at the time I thought was like eye-opening, incredible एकदम. लेकिन फिर GTA 4 जब खेला तब मैं देखा GTA 4 में especially I didn't think the visual upgrade was that big. कि ना मतलब I could see more similarities San Andreas and GTA 4 में, but GTA 4 was so much better in tone, writing, सब कुछ. तो in comparison GTA San Andreas like started feeling थोड़ा सा lame at times, writing and jokes wise, बहुत ही simplistic वैसे. तो एक वैसा एग्जाम्पल उसका था. एक था अनचार्टेड 1. इवन एट द टाइम मुझे लग रहा थोड़ा लाइक क्लंकी है इसका गेम प्ले, बट इट वाज सिनेमैटिक एंड ऑल, एंड दैट वाज लाइक अ फर्स्ट टाइम एक्सपीरियंस थोड़ा सा. तो वो देख के आई वाज प्रीटी माइंड ब्लोन. बट 2 वगैरह खेल के आई वाज थॉट यार लाइक आई डोंट थिंक आई कैन नेवर रीप्ले 1 अगेन. लाइक वो उतना मजा नहीं आता. एंड सेम अनफॉर्चुनेटली विद मास इफेक्ट ट्रिलॉजी, क्योंकि मैंने 1 2 3 खेला था ना, आई लव्ड इट एट द टाइम. आई थॉट, मुझे याद है स्पेशली 1 and 2 खेलने के तो आई हैव मेमोरीज ऑफ एक दिन 18 घंटे खेले, अगले दिन 17 आवर्स खेला, 1 खत्म कर दिया, लाइक बैक टू बैक बैठ के, लाइक डिड नथिंग एल्स, एंड आई लव्ड इट. बट अब मैं सोच रहा हूँ लाइक आई रीप्लेड मास इफेक्ट ट्रिलॉजी, वो रीमास्टर्ड लास्ट ईयर, एंड सही में लग रहा था यार लाइक आई एम नॉट रियली एंजॉय. लाइक स्टोरी सही है एंड हैड गुड टाइम, बट उसके बीच का इट्स लाइक रियली
You want to get to the good part, but you know the good part
yeah,
is काफी आगे.
yeah. And up to like so many other games have done such great things कि Mass Effect में कुछ moments है that are like really stand out. Moment to moment story भी मुझे इतना मतलब वो impact नहीं करता है. तो and especially the funny thing is, I think ये feeling मुझे even stronger हुआ after playing Andromeda, क्योंकि उसका gameplay is not great वैसे in general, but Mass Effect के standards में is pretty good. तो मैं सोच साला ये gameplay होता है in 1 2 3,
I
even
agree.
in Trilogy remake or something, it would have been so much more fun to play. क्योंकि Mass Effect Andromeda का, like, despite the problems, I played like I think 60-80 hours of that game because it was fun to play and worlds were fun to explore. तो खेलता गया. But on the other side, like from low, मुझे लग रहा था इतना मजा नहीं आ रहा, to like okay, it's not that bad. एक तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली इट इज स्टिल प्रीटी बोरिंग मुझे ऐसा लगता है, बट सेंट्स रो का थोड़ा मेरा ऐसा लाइक जितना मैंने सुना था ना एट रिव्यूज एंड आफ्टर प्लेइंग इट माई सेल्फ आई थॉट इट्स नॉट दैट टेरेबल एंड इट्स ऑल्सो नॉट एज टेरेबल एज इट लुक्ड इन द गेम प्ले ट्रेलर्स जो फुटेज दिखाया था, क्योंकि इट्स बेटर लुकिंग एक्चुअली. उससे काफी ब्लैंड है तभी, बट इट्स लाइक एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑलरेडी था कि ना एकदम PS3 गेम लग रहा है ये तो ट्रेलर में, तो उससे बेटर लग रहा है. बट दैट गेम प्ले सो सिंपलिस्टिक, इट्स लाइक मतलब थोड़ा बेटर हो गया मेरा ओपिनियन, बट इट्स स्टिल मतलब काफी मतलब वो है like very subpar game ऐसा लग रहा है, सब standard. On the other hand, Cyberpunk 2077 ये launch में तो I was so disappointed, very bummed out. मतलब for a while I was genuinely थोड़ा bummed out कि ना like ये ऐसा turn out हो गया. मुझे ज़्यादा गेम से इतना मतलब नहीं था, but Cyberpunk felt like a one of a kind game also ना, from a developer जितना वो. तो launch के वो condition and like seeing the news everywhere and genuinely खुद से भी हालत देखे I was like yeah dude I really don't want to play more of this, even though I played a lot of it, like 50 years so तभी खेल लेते. But now I've started replaying and it's replay करके like I played I think 60 hours तो replay करके खेल लिया है PC पे. It is सही में काफी मतलब the game is awesome I feel, but उसका जो सिटी है like when you're driving through it full speed पे तो पूरा खाली हो जाता है, like ट्रैफिक गायब हो जाता है, pedestrians गायब हो जाते हैं. On like high like I have a very good system, अल्ट्रा पे चल रहा है सब कुछ 1440p, बट तो सिटी लुक्स ऑसम बट वो सब खाली है. एंड देन इफ यू स्लो डाउन तो इट्स इवन वर्स, क्योंकि इफ यू वॉकिंग तो सारे एनपीसीज भर जाते हैं स्क्रीन पे एंड एवरी सिंगल वन ऑफ देम इज थोड़ा बगी ऐसा लगता है. नॉट अ सिंगल एनपीसी तरीके से अकल से चल रहा है, एवरीबडी इज फक्ड अप समहाउ. हर मतलब एनपीसी देख के दुखी हो जाता कि ड्यूड जो जो बैक स्टेज है, जो सेटिंग है दैट इज इनक्रेडिबल, लेकिन ये मेरे सामने ये क्या कर रहा है ये आदमी, लाइक हाउ दे वॉकिंग एवरी सिंगल वॉक, कोई नेचुरल नहीं लग रहा है, एवरीबडी इज अननेचुरल. तो तब भी गेम इज स्टिल लाइक हैज इट्स प्रॉब्लम्स, बट माय ओपिनियन हैज चेंज्ड ऑन इट अ लॉट. लाइक इट्स जो है उसमें द गुड इन इट इज लाइक रियली गुड. लाइक इट्स थोड़ा सरप्राइजिंग कि दे कुड मेक इट दिस लुक गुड इन द first go. It's very impressive.
But is this with mods? Any mods?
No mods. Just PC पे अल्ट्रा पे खेल रहा हूँ. मैं सोच रहा था मॉड करूंगा, but I wanted to see the core experience still. मैं क्या यार साला इन्होंने किया नहीं, मैं क्यों करूँ बैठ के.
Like I can
Give me the
vouch.
Witcher 3 man.
I've done 100% of Cyberpunk. Every single side mission done.
Oh, I am down that road now. मैं वो point of no return पे आ गया हूँ ना.
हाँ.
मैं
तो अब सारे
एक हफ्ते से point of no return मुझे फर्क ही नहीं लगा.
You can do the point of no return. कर लो, एक weapon मिलेगी बहुत अच्छी पिस्टल, वो फिर वापस वही फेंक देगा वो point of no return पे.
I know कि उसके बाद मैं खेलूंगा नहीं, like something big to look forward to ना, तो that's keeping me there.
Yeah.
Even though like I'm there for the world, मुझे मजा आ रहा है being.
The ending is very good, very big though. Ending में like I don't know how many of you know it. There are
नहीं
like
पता
6
किसी
to
को
7
spoiler
endings.
Don't spoil
क्या
it.
कौन बोल रहा है ये? You think the ending of Cyberpunk was very good, ऐसा?
Very good, very
Which
good.
one?
आयुष टेंजेंट में चला जाएगा. आयुष
All of them. There is one specific ending जो हम podcast के बाद बोलेंगे, which was the best and but worst to be honest, but yeah.
बेटर आयुष यू टेल अस वैसा तुम्हारे साथ कब गेम के साथ
Yeah.
कि बड़ा घटा कुछ भी हुआ 6 महीने बाद
अरे
ऐसा?
यार.
Okay.
नहीं,
Marvel's
मुझे लगता है
Avengers.
इस तरह के गेम्स ना, like I will tell you a secret. I played like these kind of games a little later, so after they've little flopped and the player count is low, so that I can play it in peace. मतलब ऐसे मैच मेकिंग में जाऊं तो मुझे ज्यादा देर न लगे, आई कैन प्ले थिंग्स सोलो. बट एनीवेज द क्वेश्चन, मतलब जैसे मुझे लगता है कि जैसे आई रिमेंबर विचर 3 being very good when I started playing it. But even after 6 months like updates came in, जिसमें से एक update थी which made the weight of books that you were carrying zero. And that just basically increased your inventory space by a lot, so you don't have to go and sell books वगैरह, and just like a smaller thing, but it just made that game better than it was 6 months ago ऐसा. So that is why I think like things become better over time. Just No Man's Sky, it became better over time. Everybody knows that, right? Diablo 3, after the Reaper of Soul expansion, it became much better. Seems to be a theme with the Blizzard games for some reason. But there are multiple, but I've never really had a game which I think was like the closest thing is like the Ubisoft games. You know, their openings are very strong. So the first 20 hours that you put into, you feel like, okay, there's so much to do, so much unique things, looks so good, the character is good, and then it kind of peters off for another 60 hours of doing the same thing and no story and no exposition in the middle. So you feel kind of lost. So us time mein, like you start when you write the review, maybe you're feeling a little good about it, but like 60 hours in 6 months later, you don't feel the same. So उस case में Andromeda I think was like मेरे हिसाब से I thought it was a great game. Like just like what Manas is saying, like I have views about it. Like Unity, Arkham Knight, Andromeda are games that I liked personally but failed, were panned universally. So in my opinion, I think very rarely I've had a game which I liked and then it became worse over time. The reverse I've seen a lot.
I just like, since we are ending on this, I just want to give a perspective. I have like, again, like Manas, I have like answers on both the sides. So a game which I rated well, like personally liked it well, but somehow some years down the line, it like, because I compared it with another thing, it went down. Like I thought, like when I played Tomb Raider, when Tomb Raider came out in 2013-14, I think. I played the original Tomb Raider. I thought it was, oh my god, such a great idea, such a good reimagining, and पूरा डेथ एनिमेशन ऐसा भयंकर, मतलब पहले कोई गेम ने ट्राई नहीं किया था ऐसा, एंड all the exploration and everything, I was really loving it. And at the point of time that I played it, I rated the game really well. Like, I was like, this is like a really good game. And later when I got a PS4, I played Uncharted 3. And I loved every second of it. And somehow I was finding parallels. Like, it's like...
But those are not the same game.
I know, but
man, like, I don't know why people make that comparison. मतलब कुछ भी same नहीं है. Lara Croft.
I think वो marketing ही उन्होंने ऐसा किया ना, like Uncharted was inspired by Tomb Raider and now Tomb Raider is trying to get inspired.
Some ways थोड़ा similar exploration, थोड़ा third person stuff.
वो similarity, वो जो मतलब एक hub type का
treasure hunters
घूमना,
ये exploration करते हो Uncharted में. I have a like genuine question. How much do you explore in Uncharted?
Like Uncharted 1 and 2 के बाद Uncharted 3 was definitely a step up. Like I felt it was a good step up. And since I was playing it in order, जब मैं PS4 लिया तो order पे खेल रहा था जब.
Collection, Uncharted collection.
हाँ, बहुत मजा आया. And I went back to it and that game released in 2011. And I'm like, this game did all of this better 2 years before this. How did this game not learn? Or like, again, of course, it was already in development and everything, and Naughty Dog is a different developer. Look, they spent more time into this. It was a more established brand and everything. But I felt after Uncharted 3, Tomb Raider के लिए मेरा थोड़ा घट गया. And I was like, maybe not that. Maybe the moment-to-moment thing, वो जो carry on करना, वो excitement, वो नहीं था Tomb Raider पे. बीच-बीच में थोड़ा lulls था. बीच-बीच में उतना मतलब holding नहीं था. And on the other side, something that I started like gave more respect to was when I started Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and I had just come off the trilogy, hot of the trilogy, पहली बार खेल रहा हूँ, and I was like, अरे this character is not that likable and everything, and I was like Ezio की तरह नहीं है, this
starting में होता है,
मेरा mind में चल रहा है, and I'm playing through the game and everything, and I like really liked the game, and I played through, गया इधर उधर shanties गया, मजा आया everything, and I'm like, game अच्छा है, खराब नहीं है, game खराब नहीं है, but like 1 year down the line, I find myself reinstalling it, and I'm like, game was good, man. And I reinstalled it and had more fun. Like I was this time around, I'm like, सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ, पूरा upgrade कर रहा हूँ ship को. ऐसे लग रहा है मेरा खुद का ship है, मेरा खुद का crew है and everything, and I'm going around everywhere. Whales को मार रहा हूँ, this and that, something that should not be allowed. And I'm like having a great time, and I spent more time playing it the second time than the first, and I was like really impressed. I'm like, ये game तो मतलब must sandbox है. This is like the best pirate simulator that I've played. And so that game, it went from like a 7 to like a 8.59 for me because I personally liked it so much. So I think so that settles like both the sides of the question.
Awesome. I think that brings us to the end of all the comments. Or Manas, do you have anything left?
No, that's it. That's a wrap up.
Awesome. Thanks for your comments, guys. And if you have any more questions or anything to add to this video, you can put the comments down below. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach out to us on editor@gamerfiend.com, or you can reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Right. And yeah, this brings us to the end of this show. Until next week, this is Ayush saying bye.
Bye. Bye.